We're going to live together. You take the kid and leave. That's what happened when Iris, went back to our house to pick up something I had forgotten after living at my parents' place since giving birth. I opened the bedroom door where the closet was, and there they were, William and a young woman, Maria, cozied up together. "William, what are you doing?" I asked. "You can see for yourself, can't you?" "So, you were cheating after all," I said. "It's not cheating. I'm living here with Maria now," William replied. Maria laughed beside him and chimed in. Seeing this, I no longer had any desire to mend our relationship. "Unlike you, William is a high earner. We're going to live a luxurious life with his earnings," Maria added. "Got it. Well, he only makes $1,000 a month," I said. I had almost forgotten my anger about William cheating during my pregnancy. Maybe I was too busy with childcare to remember, but I'm not someone who stays silent after being treated this way. The irony was that William didn't realize he had been living off of my support, and Maria believed he was a high earner. It was a situation ripe for criticism. But if they were that foolish, it would be easier for me. I decided to thoroughly corner them, as they were oblivious to reality. "I'm Iris, 29 years old. I'm a graduate of a fashion school, working in design," I said. William, 5 years younger than me, was still a student when we met. His part-time job was at a bar near my office, which we often used for company drinks, and that's how we got to know each other. To me, William was just one of the many bartenders, but he pursued me vigorously and we started dating. At first, I was puzzled, wondering why me? I'm 5 years older. But I was swayed by William's words. "Age doesn't matter. You, Iris, are attractive." That's when I decided to start dating him. Our relationship was refreshing. Maybe because he worked at a bar, he loved socializing in large groups. He often organized drinking parties and gatherings, taking me to various bars and restaurants. His friends were all bright, outgoing young people. I was worried I wouldn't fit in, but they welcomed me warmly. 2 years into our relationship, William started working full-time, and I turned 28, beginning to think about marriage. But he was still young, and I didn't want to pressure him. That I had heard that women rushing into marriage could lead to breakups. As I was struggling with these thoughts, William proposed to me. I was happy but also anxious. The one who gave me the courage was my sister Emma. She's always been smart and a go-getter. At work, she was a reliable advisor for me. Opportunities like this don't come around often. William is a bright and good guy. Go ahead, marry him. I couldn't imagine marrying anyone but William. I thought if I were to have children, it should be with him. You're earning well, so no worries about living expenses. Just be happy. So I married William. But soon after, something unexpected happened. William suddenly quit his job. I'd rather have my own place than work for someone else. "I'm going to work at the bar for a while, but I need your support." I was confused, but his resignation process was already underway. I made it clear to William that this was just a temporary arrangement, and I braced myself to support our finances for a while. William was happy and seemed to be studying to open his own business while working part-time. I found such behavior endearing and really hoped he would succeed in his efforts. As William's part-time life began, almost a year passed. I was working full-time and wasn't fully aware, but it seemed William wasn't taking many shifts, focusing instead on studying for his business. The money he earned was being saved for his startup capital and wasn't tributed to our household. Then something happened to me. I went to the hospital suspecting something and discovered I was pregnant. Clearly, I couldn't support our household in this condition. "William, I'm pregnant. The part-time life needs to end. Can you start supporting our family now?" I expected him to be happy, but his reaction was far from it. William threw the glass he was holding at me. It shattered with a loud noise, spilling the drink everywhere. "What? So you lied about supporting me?" It wasn't a lie, but the situation has changed now. Shouldn't spouses support each other in tough times? Don't joke with me. You just want to sit back and relax, 'cause you're pregnant, huh? William labeled me as lazy and wouldn't listen. He had no understanding of maternity or paternity leave. He stared off into the distance, lost in his future plans. "I'm gonna have my own place one day. I can't be bothered with such small things." With that, he stormed out of the house. He returned past 5 a.m. reeking of alcohol and with his clothes stained. It seemed he had been out partying heavily. Did you drink and party all night? Please take the pregnancy more seriously. He didn't reply, and for the next 3 days, William didn't speak a word to me. He was like a sulking child, leaving me exasperated. William stopped eating at home and frequently went out at night. I was handling all the housework, and when I did the laundry after William went out at night, I noticed the scent of women's perfume on his clothes at night. It was always the same scent. I couldn't believe it. I started to suspect he was cheating. But with my growing belly, I couldn't move around freely. My sister Emma offered to help when I consulted her. Hi, Iris, is now a good time to talk? Yeah, William's out. Emma seemed surprised. He's out at this hour? Well, given what I found out, it makes sense. What happened with William? Emma had apparently tracked William's activities for a day. Luckily, he had been in busy areas, making it easy to follow him. According to her, William spent the night out drinking and partying. Then he met up with a young woman and went into a hotel. The place he frequented was familiar to me, near where he worked part-time. It was frustrating to know he was doing as he pleased. The worst I had feared was happening. I was speechless for a moment, but the photos Emma sent were undeniable proof of William's infidelity. The next morning, when William returned looking disheveled, I confronted him. And as usual, there was that familiar scent of perfume. William, you're cheating, aren't you? Cheating? I'm not cheating, William said, his eyes darting around his body fidgety. Stop lying. I'm not accusing you without evidence. Don't mess with me. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll punch you. William grabbed his bag and left the house, still looking worn out. He might be going to see his affair partner. A few days later, when I started going into labor, William still hadn't returned home. With no other choice, I prepared myself, grabbed my hospital bag, and took a taxi to the hospital. There was no time to think about William anymore. The baby was born safely, and before I knew it, I was lying in bed. I was grateful my parents, who lived nearby, took turns staying with me. After the birth, I was too busy with nursing and everything else. Then William called. The baby's born, huh? Both the baby and I are healthy. That's not important. You're staying at your parents' place for a while, right? For how long? How long? Maybe 2 months. Why? I was puzzled, but William said, it's none of your business, and abruptly hung up. I stayed at my parents' place after giving birth. William never came to see us. About a month later, as winter was approaching, I went back to our house to get a coat I had left in the closet. But when I opened the front door, I was struck by a strange sensation. The whole room was filled with the scent of women's perfume. Unmistakably, it was the same scent I had noticed on William's clothes. The house was eerily quiet. I opened the bedroom door where the closet was. And there they were, William and a young woman, Maria, close together. She looked young, almost like a college student. William, what are you doing? Can't you see? So, you're cheating after all. It's not cheating. I'm living here with Maria now. Maria laughed beside him and added, that's right, we're living together now. You take the kid and leave. Seeing them like this, I had no desire to mend our relationship. William is a high earner unlike you. We're gonna live a luxurious life with his earnings. Got it? Well, he only makes $1,000 a month. Maria seemed clueless about William's income, but she started dreamily talking about their future life, completely out of touch with reality. Anyway, I was just a nuisance to them. If that's what they wanted, so be it. I quickly grabbed my coat, ready to leave. Wait, take this with you. He handed me divorce papers, with every section but mine already filled out. I made my decision quickly. I'll sign it right here. Saying so, I filled out the divorce papers on the spot and handed them back to William. Here, this is it. Please send my remaining belongings later by courier. Yeah. Lucky me, it saves me the hassle. By then, don't come back. As I closed the bedroom door, I heard their loud laughter behind me. I went back to my parents' house and told my sister Emma that I had gotten divorced. When I mentioned how I found William cuddling with another woman, Emma seemed utterly astounded. I actually found something out about William's infidelity. What? Emma recalled that while William was out partying at the bar, he mentioned a certain app. It sounded like a matching app, but seemed more suspicious. I registered on it. Sis, are you sure that's safe? I'm single, and there's no harm in just signing up. It's free for women? Emma investigated the app and found out that William had registered on it. She showed me his profile on her smartphone. His profile picture was a design I had created for work. Curiously, it seemed he was pretending to be a designer, using my career to appeal to women. He apparently used my background because it appealed to women. His listed income was also exaggerated. His profile was full of lies, just listing things that would make women happy, probably looking for affairs. What a shallow man. I regretted not seeing through him for marriage. Just then my phone beeped. It was a message from William. I've already filed the divorce papers. We're strangers now. By the way, I also submitted my marriage registration with Maria. No need for you anymore. Following the message, he sent a selfie from the city hall with Maria. Emma frowned at the photo. What a terrible man. Iris, you did the right thing by leaving him. Yeah, thinking of my child, my heart ached, but I decided to follow Emma's advice and quickly sort out my personal matters. A month later, busy with childcare and having forgotten about William, I received numerous calls from him. Answering, I heard his frantic voice. Hey, weren't the rent and utilities supposed to be deducted from your account? I just got a notification that this month's payment hasn't been made. You're living your life now, right? I changed the withdrawal account for you. What have you done? Everything's in error, and I keep getting overdue notices. Certainly, William couldn't afford the same lifestyle on his income. But it was none of my concern anymore. We were strangers now, and I replied calmly, yet William seemed to have counted on my earnings even after our split. He had no intention of giving up the nice apartment rented under my financial support. You're being stingy with money. You're trying to trap me. I'm coming over with Maria to get some money from you. After the call, I asked my mom, a guest is coming, but no need to serve tea or anything. Meanwhile, my phone kept ringing. Must be William? How persistent. When I checked, there were messages from mutual friends of ours and William. Iris, how could you cheat and run off with the money? Stop being petty and apologize to William right away. I thought I could trust you. You're the worst. It seemed William had been spreading lies that suited him to our friends. Although it was out of frustration, it was still something that could not be excused. I showed my phone to my sister Emma, pondering how to reply when the doorbell rang. William and Maria had come to our parents' house. Reluctantly, I led them to the living room, where William sat back as if he owned the place. Maria leaned against him. Emma and I confronted them. So how are you going to settle this? You're pretty bold for someone earning just $1,000 a month. Don't you dare say that here. Maria's face slightly changed color. William, what does that mean? I silently showed them William's pay stub. I used to keep them for tax calculations. This is your monthly income. No way, this is less than what a part-timer makes. He hardly took any shifts. Always said he was studying to start a business, but all I saw was him playing around. Out drinking at night, sleeping past noon. William started making excuses. This was just a one-time thing. I'll open my own place and make things easier. That's nice, but with this income, you can't even pay this month's rent. Weren't you a high-earning designer? Emma showed William's profile on her smartphone. This one, right? Yeah, we met on this app. This profile is all lies. What do you mean by that? Maria looked shocked. But these design sketches, those are my creations. I showed Maria my sketchbook. I know this. And this too. So, you're the designer, Iris? Yes. William used my background to appeal to women. You were deceived. Pretending to be something you're not? That's the worst. I believed in you. Don't make stuff up. You're just trying to manipulate Maria. William was the one manipulating her. Such a thoughtless man, continuing lies that were bound to be discovered. He had pretended to rent the apartment on his own, and Maria, believing him, moved in with him. Being married to William was a stain on my life. Maria, you're married to him now, right? Good luck with this, loser. Maria turned red and slapped William repeatedly while he tried to fend her off. She's too naive, believes anything. Iris, if you keep this up, I'll sue for defamation. Naive? Really? You're serious? I've investigated your actions. There's a nightclub near where you two met. I went there again recently and saw Maria entering the club. Are you sure it wasn't a mistake? I recognized her coat from the photo you sent when you filed the marriage registration. What? Are you sure it wasn't a mistake? I recognized her coat from the photo you sent when you filed the marriage registration. A girl as flashy as her is hard to mistake. But William didn't seem to give up. Maria's profile said she worked at a clothing store. She's flashy because of her job. Stop being jealous, you old hag. So sorry for being an old hag. The club Maria entered has a terrible reputation. They pressure clients into expensive add-ons, basically a rip-off. Emma showed the club's review site. And there unmistakably was Maria's photo published on the site. No way. Sure, Maria is often not home at night, but I thought it was because her job kept her out late. Why don't you think back on what you've been doing to Maria? You've been lying as easily as you breathe, haven't you? Now that you mention it, she does have a lot of brand items that couldn't possibly be bought on a normal salary. Suddenly, Maria raised her voice. It's all out in the open now. Yes, I'm the top girl at the club known as the Princess. I get lots of gifts from various people. I couldn't help feeling a headache coming on. William and Maria, both such deluded individuals. Maria, was everything you told me a lie? It's the same for both of us. I wouldn't have dated you if I knew you weren't a designer. Liar. What I did, slightly exaggerating my background, is nothing serious. What you did is a betrayal to men. William seemed to insist that he wasn't in the wrong. Before I knew it, he and Maria were physically fighting. Their ridiculous argument was unbearable, and I intervened. You're both as bad as each other, a pair of liars. The only one who hasn't been lying is me. William turned his teary eyes to me. Iris, I was wrong. Can't we start over? You're married now, aren't you? That's out of the question. But William wasn't giving up. I'll leave her. You and I are meant to be together. Is such a convenient story even possible? I won't divorce you. I'll stay here until I find my next target. I'm divorcing you. I'll live peacefully with Iris. While playing with my phone, I commented indifferently. Who destroyed that peaceful life in the first place, I wonder? William and Maria continued their unsightly bickering. They seemed to be at an impasse, with William wanting a divorce and Maria wanting to maintain the status quo. After I placed my phone on the table and some time passed, William's phone started ringing non-stop. He checked the messages and turned pale. What the heck? All my friends are cutting ties with me? I had recorded the conversation and sent it to our mutual friends. They learned of William's misdeeds and turned against him. You're despicable for lying and involving your friends. Should I sue you for defamation? William bit his lip and fell silent. You did the right thing divorcing such a man, Iris. What are we gonna do about him? Emma spoke almost gleefully. I'll make sure to get alimony and child support. Wait, I don't have that kind of money. That's fine. We might consider getting a lawyer involved. Hearing this, William looked like he wanted to run. He must have realized he had no chance of winning with the evidence of his affair. I handed him a note with the bank details. You just want money, you dirty woman. I deserve alimony after getting involved with a man like you. How much more are you gonna mess up my life? William grabbed his bag and started swinging it around. A vase on the table toppled over, turning the living room into a mess. Emma quickly pulled out her phone and made a call. Hello, is this the police? I'm currently being threatened by a man. Let me give you the address. At the mention of the police, William and Maria turned pale. They quickly gathered their belongings and headed for the exit. I won't forgive what you've done. Don't think this is over. What a case of misplaced resentment. It was all self-inflicted trouble. Don't ever show your faces again, you lousy couple. I closed the front door before William and Maria could turn their backs. Emma wasn't calling the police a bit too much? Emma showed me the black screen of her phone and stuck out her tongue. Was that just an act? Enough to shut those fools up. We high-fived and rejoiced together. For a while after William and Maria left, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. It was flooded with messages from friends saying, sorry for doubting you. At least, the misunderstanding was cleared up. It seems like all of them have cut ties with William. He was always loose with money and often borrowed small amounts. Additionally, this recent mishap must have been the last straw. Now William can no longer hang out with his friends. As for my divorce, it's already finalized. Alimony can be claimed even after divorce, so I decided to proceed as planned. William seems to be working hard, taking more part-time jobs. One day I received a call from him. "Iris, help me. Maria won't leave the house. So you two didn't get divorced." I want to get divorced, but Maria apparently has nowhere else to go. No matter how much I ask, she just won't budge. It's the exact opposite of William, who didn't bother working and quickly left the house when I asked. Weren't you two in love and got married? Why don't you try to make it work? I can't stand being with that liar anymore. Maria is brazen about it, openly using dating apps right in front of me. She dresses up and goes out at night, and she doesn't contribute financially to the household. I couldn't help but laugh. Maria's actions were unexpected, but it seems she's giving William a hard time. That's unfortunate, but remember, I put up with your similar treatment and even gave birth. Maybe it's time you tried a bit harder? But Iris, Maria takes all the money I managed to save. Please help me. Help me, William's voice sounded whiny. Just hearing it filled me with a visceral disgust. I firmly refused his plea for help and hung up. I heard from mutual friends that William later got fired from his bar job. Unable to control his philandering ways, he hit on a regular customer. The bar owner, furious, reminded William of all the support given and then unceremoniously kicked him out. With little work experience and struggling to find a new job, William soon fell into debt. Unable to borrow from reputable sources, he resorted to dubious lenders and got trapped in a cycle of debt. Meanwhile, Maria continued living in William's place, spending her nights at the club, meeting men, and going about her life. She apparently had no place to live, and spotting William, who seemed well off, managed to marry him. Her lifestyle relies on depending on men. Now she's desperately searching for a man with better prospects. No matter how much William tries to convince her, Maria refuses to leave the house, and their arguments seem endless. I, on the other hand, relentlessly pursued William for the $60,000 in alimony and child support. So far, he's been paying on time. Emma's bluff worked wonders, and our threats seem to have an effect. William occasionally calls asking for help, but I ignore him completely. Compared to the pain I endured, his troubles seem trivial. With the support of my parents and Emma, I'm comfortably raising my child. Emma, being single and childless, adores the baby. My child is growing up, healthy and strong. We spend precious, ordinary moments together, like singing along to TV shows or playing in the bath. I'm planning to return to work part-time and send my child to daycare next month. As for me, I really love my job. The thought of returning to work excites me. The company is very understanding, and they say they will be considerate towards me now that I have become a single mother. From now on, I want to cherish the things I love while embarking on a new journey in life.